I hit the bottom where I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to be alive anymore. So like I'm hitting that death portal too, but like in a different way. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to go for a walk.
You hit the pit. You hit the pit. That's what I call. That's what I call the
Yeah.
pit. I call it the pit. It's like when you can't go, you hit the pit, and you're like, oh
Exactly.
my god, this is the fucking pit.
Yeah,
We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
No one's letting you forget in the club. That is for fucking sure.
Are you in lots and lots of pain? How bad is the pain?
Fuck you fucking asshat.
Having fun dancing in the floor.
Number one, why am I calling you? Number two, you ruined everything.
Oh, so good. Meow.
So happy to be here.
So happy to be here. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. Happy new day, whatever day it is that you're listening to this.
Wherever you are in the world, whatever day it is, whatever time it is. Hello.
We are happy to be here, and mostly like happy to be back with each other because it feels like it's been an eternity. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but 2 weeks in our world is a long fucking time. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Christine,
Yeah.
you wanna let everyone, I mean, they kind of already know because we did a little pre-session on this where we let them know you were going in for surgery, but like give them the lowdown. Tell them how you're feeling.
Oh, friends, what a fucking dumpster fire. I'm kind of joking, but like not. So yeah, as you guys know, I went, well, you may not know. I don't know. I don't even remember what we like talked about in there. I always black out when I talk on the podcast. I feel like I just channel and black out. So I don't really know what I say. But yeah, so I went in, I had implants put in 2007. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know I've been going through a massive transition, getting a divorce. I sold my fitness studio last year, one of my businesses. I've had like crazy change, transition, and I had such a strong intuition to have my implants taken out. I didn't know why, but it was like, you need to get them taken out. You need to get them taken out like this year as soon as possible. And I was like, okay. Okay. So it's a really strong intuition. And yeah, leading up to it, I had a lot of fear about going under. I obviously have 2 young kids, and I didn't even think about going under when I was in 2007. So I don't really know. I was like young, and I didn't really consider any of it. And so coming into it this time, I had so much fear about dying. Like, I'm going to be totally honest. Yeah. It was this deep fear about dying. Like I said it to people. I'm like, I don't know what is going on. I have this fear of dying on the table, not waking up. Like, I can't describe it. I don't know if this is like lineage stuff that I'm processing, but you know, that doesn't really make a lot of logical sense. Like part of me was like, yeah, like part of me is like, people go under all day, every day, like for multiple surgeries all around the world. And I actually contemplated watching like Nip Tuck. Like I was like, maybe I need to go on like a bender and watch Nip Tuck for like a month just to like
prepare.
You know what I mean? Like, prepare and like desensitize this. I didn't. I was like super busy leading up to it. But so I went in on August the 2nd. I knew it was going to be a longer surgery because long story short is the reason I got implants to begin with was because I had gained and lost weight as a kid. And so I had a lot of skin and not a lot of tissue. So I always felt very sensitive around my breasts. I always felt a lot of shame around them and just a shame in the body. And so I got them. I wouldn't say I got them for the most like empowering reasons. It wasn't like, oh, I really want to feel confident and strong. I was like, I don't feel like I'm worthy, so I need these. So maybe I can be potentially just worthy enough. Right. So, and I hadn't obviously when I was younger processed the shame. So, you know, this year when I was doing some like deep digging around like why I was doing this and all the things, it was like I had a very strong intuition that the implant was like pressing on the underbelly of like the shame and the unprocessed emotions that was sitting underneath the implant. And over top of it was also pain. And also the implant is also on top of my heart, right? Like if you think about it, like the way it is, and there's just no slant to anyone who has implants. I know people have like just gotten them in and they're like, I'm fucking titty central. I'm obsessed. And I'm like, yes, you fucking go. And I love it for you. Get it, girl. It's just for me, I knew this has been a massive year of shedding, of letting go, of like all the things. So it made so much sense. It felt like there was like this density in my system that had to be moved through the implant. So I went in for surgery at 7:30 in the morning. I got out at 3, so it was actually like a longer surgery than anticipated. It was 7 hours. So they removed the implant. I got a breast lift, and they also did a fat graft. So because I didn't want to get implants again, she did say, like, if we take them out, I don't think you're going to be super happy. You're going to be very flat. And I'm like, I'm not like a super petite, girl. I'm athletic, so I was like, okay, like, how bad is lipo going to be? And they were like, it's not great. But like, and it was like wildly expensive, but I was like, you know what? I would like to have, it would be nice to have something in my own body in there. So yeah, I did opt for that. But so it was a long surgery. And when I got out, I was actually feeling like pretty like medium. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking alive. Like I knew I got like the bougiest of I got the best doctor, and I got the best, like she works with the best anesthesiologist. So I was like really felt in good hands. But when I got up, I was like, oh my God, I did it. And then the nurse fucking burst my bubble. She's just like, I you can kind of sense something's off. And so that she calls in the surgeon, and she comes and checks on me, and she's like, she's bleeding quite a bit. And I was like, no, shit. No. And she's like, okay. So both of them are trying to like push on my right breast. That we have these drains attached basically that like, drain the fluid out of your system. And there's a lot coming out of the right one. And so I was starting to freak out a little bit, and then she's like, well, maybe it's slowing down. And I was like doing some like deep breathing. I was like, I can do this. I can manifest this. I can shift this. No, you can't, bitch. Nope, she's like,
it's happening. The train's already left the station.
The train's left the true. So the lady, of course, she calls back the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, so you are going to have to go in for surgery again. You have a hematoma. You are bleeding. So I was like, ugh. And I'm like all alone. And get this, and I was like, okay, like, so we'll do this now. Yeah. No, we just put another patient down for anesthetic. She's already out. And I was like, no. Because I'm like, I know what this. I'm like, so Kelsey Grant, you guys listening on the podcast, I am laying there. You should see the fucking tools that I was pulling out of my ass while I was high as shit. It. Oh my. So get this. So at first at first I was like just trying to process like what was happening. Mm-hmm. My surgeon later told me she thought I was in shock. She's like, I think you actually did have a bit of shock because she's like, I know you're funny, you're cracking jokes. Mm-hmm. Even when you're high, I feel like you're still probably cracking jokes. And she's like, and you could see from your face you were scared. So I lay back down. I'm like, I have to have surgery again. I'm like, fuck. And so I'm like laying there, and I'm starting to panic a bit. And so the nurse is like, yeah, so we just want to make sure we stay calm, because the more like your heart rate goes up and the more bleeding happens. God. And I'm like, so so I'm literally, you guys, by breathing count, how like it's cute. It's like, okay, if you want to like relax your system, do like the 4-7-8 breath. Yeah. I was doing like 47, 122 holds, 192 exhale. I was like, holding for like 8,000 and exhaling, and I did that straight, you guys, for 6 fucking hours. Like I was laying there, and I knew I had to go for surgery again, and I'm like, oh my God. So I did that. They bring me back, and they took me under. So I ended up getting out of there at like midnight on the Friday. So I'm like, get home, and that first like 48, 72 hours was like
rough.
It was, I saw my child's dad, and I said, I'm like, that was worse than childbirth. Like, and I've done it twice, one time with no drugs, because it was an extended period of time. And the fear, I think, when I got home because my drain had a lot of blood coming out even after the surgery. And so I was like really scared. And my mom had a hematoma after a surgery once, and she almost bled like to death. So it was like, there was all this crazy, I think like, I am fully in trust. I'm 2 weeks out right now. I fully am trusting that it had to happen the way it did, because it did spawn some like old trauma from my mom. Mm-hmm. It spawned some old trauma that came up from my ex. And so like, I feel like universally it was orchestrated. And in all honesty, even though it was rough, I was in the best possible hands. And I feel like I was really protected during that time. I feel like, I found out later that the anesthesiologist had a appointment, or he had a shift at a hospital. We were in a private clinic where the surgery was taking place, And so I guess when the surgeon went back in and said, like, she's got to go under again, he was like, I can't stay. I have to be out of here at 8. And she knew how scared I was to go under. And she knew I was like trusting of him specifically because he was like the best of the best.
Sure.
And so she was like, you need to get your shift covered. Like, was like dead straight. Like, you need to get your shift covered. And so like, bless, he was able to. I didn't know any of this while it was happening. She told me after the fact, but he was able to, because she said if he hadn't had, she would have had to like send an ambulance, take me to VGH, and had to like be in the OR with like all people, no room, no, like the chaos, the stress, and like being in an ambulance, like that's just like not a vibe. So anyways, all that to say is like, I feel so grateful. And this last 2 weeks, I mean, it's been absolutely super sad because I haven't been able to talk to you, Kels. We've had like a few minor chats here and texting and like one phone call, but I honestly wasn't, I was like in the vortex. And I gotta say, like, my gratitude meter of the last 2 weeks has been completely reset. Like, it was like humiliating. I had to like pee in front of my parents into like a fucking bucket for like, I couldn't sit down because my legs were so swollen. I couldn't walk. I couldn't lay down on, like, I had no autonomy. So it feels like every little thing, I'm so, like, I sat there the other day and I was sitting outside and I was like, my life is so good. Like, I have the best fucking business partner. I am so excited for the future. The people coming into my life right now are just so awesome. Like, I'm so grateful for my clients. Like, I can fucking walk. Like, it was all of these like pieces that I just had completely taken for granted, that I just feel like it's been like a massive recalibration in so many ways. But that's my long story.
I mean, what a fucking ride. Like, and there's so much in there, you know, even like being, like, coming out of your surgery and then you get this information and you are completely alone and you don't have your phone. So it's not like you can be like SOSing and being like, okay, get on the phone and like, talk me through it. Cause I literally had my phone like on me all day because I'm like, I just want to be there the second she comes out and like just be available. And I knew that it was supposed to be over around 1. And I'm like, okay, 3 o'clock goes by. I'm like, she's in recovery for 2 hours. So like, I didn't really expect to hear from you until probably like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 comes along, and it goes. And I'm like, okay, I need to distract myself now.
Where's the Love is Blind, the Love Island, and the fucking ho-hos? I need to get
like, I took myself out on a long ass walk because I'm like, I can't sit in my house and like let my mind kind of rumble here because it'll rumble in the wrong direction. And that is not the vibe. We need to be holding the field. And so like, I'm out on this 4-hour walk that night because I'm like, I need to work this out of my system. And like, this is after doing like an intense workout in the day and some morning movement. Like, we were like, it's so funny that you were like pulling out all your tools and then I was also pulling out all of my tools because I understood that like we co-create a vortex together a lot of the time. And even if we're not talking, we're talking energetically. And so I'm like, I need to be able to like hold and anchor this frequency and like keep it together. Because if something is going sideways, like, that needs to be held, like that vortex of possibility. And so I'm like out on my walk and I get home from my walk, I think at like 10 o'clock. I'm like, fuck. And like, there's no one for me to call. Like, I don't know what clinic you're at. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't have your parents' number. Like, I don't have your ex's number. Like, which we maybe in retrospect that we could have done that, but like, we weren't thinking about that. No. And then I hear from you at 11:30. I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, thank God.
The message, she was so garbled. When I look back, it was like, Husha, out, 11:15, hi. It was like not even words. I was like, fuck me. This is like why they say do not operate like any fucking machinery. Like machinery or anything like that. But you were like, actually, you were the first person I texted.
Oh. We're each other's emergency contacts now.
Totally.
taking it to the next level. But like, it didn't matter that the message was garbled. I can decode you any day. Sure. And it was just more so like, okay, she's okay. And then like the biggest exhale like came through my system. I'm like, okay, now I can gear down and like rest, because like I knew that we had made it through like this first vortex, but I also knew that there was another one coming, because recovery is a whole other ball game. And so I'm like, I need to be well rested here. So I went to bed. I was also fucking so tired. A 4-hour walk, like insane. And yeah, and then these last 2 weeks have been so weird, because you and I, we talk every day. People don't know this about us, but now they do, where we are on the phone with each other almost every single day. Even if it's just for like 10 minutes, a quick little drop in, we hear each other's voices. And if we're not talking in real time, we're voice noting and we're texting. And so there's always
sexting.
Or sexting.
Or OnlyFans picturing.
OnlyFans picturing. There's always a thread of connection. Like there hasn't been a day that we've missed. And in the days that we haven't physically talked are very few and far between. I think there's maybe like 3 in the last 6 months.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And so it was a shock to my system as well, of adjusting to, oh shit, we're not talking. And also like knowing that that was an essential part of this healing process. Like my mom went through like a major surgery a couple years ago, and like I was with her in her recovery. Like I went back home to like be with her, just like your parents have done. And like there's no way she could have been maintaining constant communication with anybody in those first 2 weeks. And so at least I had that frame of reference. So like I knew. But then there was also this part that I was just so lonely. I was like, where's my best friend? and it
there's
made
no
me
rare back.
Exactly. And like raring into the void, like meow meow. There's no echo. And also like you and I have a lot of practices together that like until we went through this last 2 weeks, like I always knew that they were super valuable, but I didn't realize how much they were impacting my mental and emotional health. Because we do this shadow dumping and shadow clearing with each other. And then we alchemize it through laughter. And so there's not really anything that gets carried over for too long. Like if I'm stuck on something, I call you up and we get through it. And by the time we're off the phone, like I'm through it. I'm not carrying it over and mulling it over and like dwelling on it. Like it's done. Like we've moved through it. And not having that for the last 2 weeks, I'm like, fuck, I gotta fucking build up. And like, no, like there are other people in my life who I've been able to lean on and talk to, but it's not the same as how we do it. And like we will go from like this shadow dumping, like laughter alchemy into like a vortex of like possibility and like downloading ideas for the club and the business. And like the conversation is all over the place. And that's how I like it. It keeps my need for variety very well satiated. And these last 2 weeks have just been more like, I don't know if it's like monotonous, but like that's kind of how it feels. I'm like, there's not a lot of like zing zing happening. I'm like, she's the zinger. And like when we come together, like it's fireworks, baby. And so like it really got me present to how grateful I am for you and for what we're building and this very unique relational container that you and I have and the standard that it set for relationships in my life. And in these last 2 weeks, I've gotten to see like who kind of meets that bar and who doesn't. And so I've been going through my own like revisiting the past and like feeling these old tender wounds and like this spot of like being left out and being rejected and all of these pieces. And I'm like, oh, I'm having to sit with it and not be able to like move through it and alchemize it with you. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like I'm really getting an opportunity to sit with these younger versions of myself. They're mostly like my teenage years, but like there's been a couple moments where it's been a much younger version of myself. And so I just find it so fascinating that we got thrown into this vortex and we both ended up having to navigate very similar things. I mean, they're similar in their content, but like different in their context. And that's been very valuable for me. And also it feels so necessary for where we're going and what we're doing. Like it's almost like we're about to lift off with the club. And before we could, like we had to like get to the fucking basement and take that pressure washer and like get in those little crevices that we probably wouldn't touch otherwise. We wouldn't even know we had to go into those corners or crevices. But like when you're taken to the bottom and like you can't distract yourself with anyone or anything else, like you got to face it. And that's been a really powerful initiation these last 2 weeks of meeting that like loneliness and meeting that isolation. And because loneliness is not something that I feel a lot of the time. And when people say that they're lonely, I'm like, okay, like I get it, but also I don't, because I don't feel that a lot of the time because I have really great connections in my life. And these last 2 weeks, I got schooled in what loneliness feels like. And then my pattern of isolating when I feel something very high sensation. And so I got to see all of that in operation. I'm like, okay, isolation's not the move. Solitude is okay. Isolation, not okay. And so like there were a couple people that I really leaned on so that I wasn't isolating. But I still largely had to go in and reparent these parts of me that needed love. They needed care. They wanted to be welcomed back home. And I don't know that they're there until, the perfect storm happens. And, you're unavailable and you're healing and you're going through your own vortex. And we have to adjust our dynamic in order to create the conditions for your healing. And those conditions then activate certain things for me. And I go in my own little healing vortex. And so it's been so fucking fascinating. And also, I'm really glad that we're fucking through the majority of that. And we're back to almost business as usual and like being able to talk to each other. And that first conversation that we had, fuck, that was like medicine for the soul. Like, I'm pretty sure we just laughed for 30 minutes straight and then did a little shadow dumping and a couple like fuck me's and then back to laughing. And it was really, really great. And I got off that phone call and I'm like, that was what I needed. Like, and then I ended up meeting some girlfriends right after I got off the phone with you, and they matched that energy that you and I have. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this is like immediate feedback from the universe of like who is coming for this next chapter of my life and my story. Because not everybody is. Not everybody made it through the gauntlet. Some are leaving altogether. Some are moving into different dynamics, and that's fine. That's part of life. That's part of relating. Like we can't take everyone where we're going, and everyone has their own journey and their own path. And sometimes we're with people for a season, sometimes a lifetime. You and I, lifetimes and beyond.
Hop on the rocket.
You're never leaving me again.
No. Oh my God. I just love what you said. And that's so powerful because we haven't even really had that catch up. I mean, we had that funny conversation where, we just shadow dumped, and then just, and for anyone listening, if you don't know what the fuck shadow dump is, I actually said that term to my craniosacral the other day, and she's like, what does shadow dumping mean? And I was like, oh, I guess like for me it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to my lawyer the other day, and she was like, what certification are you taking? I'm like, oh, it's a trauma informed abundance coaching nervous system related certification. She's like, abundance? And I was like, oh, okay, right. Like some of these terms that like are so,
normal for
anyways,
us.
normal for us. People don't, I forget that a lot. And it makes me excited because sometimes I feel like I don't know, like when I talk, I'm like, everyone knows this shit. Like, why am I even like talking about this? And like, you know what I mean? It's those moments that really remind me of like, oh, okay. People don't even know shadow. Like I have to remember that. I think I've been in it so long that it feels so normalized.
Yeah.
But shadow dumping, you guys, is a really beautiful process that maybe they will do this on like one of our mini trainings coming up about shadow work and shadow dumping. I think this will be some like great processes. Yes, shadow.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Quick little thing is that shadow dumping is sort of like when you're able to just be a menace and say whatever the fuck you want and be as volatile and as filthy and as like disturbing as you need to with somebody who's safe, that like you can just say like, yeah, she's a fucking bitch, and I hope da 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 da, and like, or that like, or this, or whatever you want to say. It's just like, it's like a free space to allow the part of you who's like pissed. Like imagine like an angry little teenager inside of you who doesn't want to think nicely and doesn't want to be kind and doesn't want to like, and who's like, no, that person fucking was wrong, and I want to punish them. Like it's just giving spaciousness for that part, because as soon as we do, it alchemizes it. The part of us feels heard and seen, and we'll go into this on the mini training, so you should definitely join us for that in September. But it really helps us just calm. It also calms the nervous system. It actually regulates the nervous system as well, because we're not having the trauma circulating in the system. So it's like there's so many benefits to what we do, and then we laugh about it, because the shit that we say when we're actually being real, it's so offside, and then we just laugh so hard, and then it's like it just clears from the system. It's like the fastest way to clear unprocessed, emotional baggage and all that shit. So it's like a really fun process. But I mean, like you said, you had your own process. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I like for the first, I'd say 4 to 5 days, I was completely incapacitated. Like I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't reading. I was literally laying there trying to calm myself, because I thought I was going to die. Like I literally was like, what if this premonition
comes true,
like that I had before I went into surgery? Like what if I wasn't meant to die in the surgery? What if I'm going to die after? And so there was like all of these like pieces, and of course I have these drains stuck in my body, and they have to be under a certain range. And she says if they go over, luckily the first night actually we didn't know what it was supposed to be, because had we known, I would have had to go back, because the actual
volume
thing is, she said, like the volume, she said if it's over 50 in a 4-hour period, you need to like call us right away. And my mom and I didn't realize until the next day, or like the day after, or 2 days or 3 days later, but it had it was like 63 in a 4-hour period.
Shit.
And so I actually woke up, because I was on T3s, and I woke up in the middle of the night. My heartbeat was feeling really irregular. So I woke up and I was like feeling like super panicky. And then I asked my mom, it was like 3:00 in the morning, and she did some reconnective healing. So she's like an energy healer. And so she like did some reconnective healing on me. And the next day it like went down significantly. So it was like, it feels like I had to completely surrender the completely out of control I have ever since I had adrenal fatigue and like panic attacks and like chronic anxiety and chronic stress back in 2018, when I owned the studio and had, Eva was premature as a baby, and I had crazy stress, and I have been wildly fearful of being out of control of my body. So like I always have a limit where I like, whether I'm drinking or whatever I'm doing, it's just like I have a limit where it's like, and that's it. I'm not going out of control. And so it was like complete out of control. I had to completely surrender and lean on my parents, and having both, not only one of my mom was originally going to come, but both my parents came. And I knew, and I know deep in my bones that like they've been here for almost, today will be 2 weeks. Tomorrow would be 2 weeks. And they're staying like till, sometime next week. And they have completely like taken care of me. They have, and I think it's like growing up, I had such a, they're great parents, of course, but like, everyone has their shit. And so I think growing up, there was this feeling of like, nobody cares about me. I'm like left out. I'm misunderstood. I don't have space for my emotions. I have to caretake. It's like, was all this sort of like that, you know, sort of laced into the codependency experience as a teenager and adult. And so having them here and having them literally take care of me, from going to the bathroom to walking to lifting me into bed to getting up 4 times a night so I can pee into a bowl in front of them with crotchless compression shorts. Like the surrender and the like letting go and receiving that I've had to have. And even with my clients, like just, you know, just them sending me wishes and like just being flexible to move to a phone call if I, you know, for the first couple, you know, for the first I had because I can't sit for long periods of time. So like having people, and of course you taking care of the club and like, you know, being there for me and sort of taking that on when you already take on so much. And like there was so much gratitude, like it was like spilling out, the appreciation and the like receiving, because I think that's something that's really blocked me for a long time, is the willingness to receive good things in my life and good people. Like I noticed before, I would even like, you know, I think originally when you and I first started talking, I sometimes like you'd send me voice notes that were really kind, and like even if I'd start and they were really like beautiful, like I would have to like pause them, or I would like sometimes even just leave them and have like, and then like a month later be like, oh, I didn't listen to that voice note, because I had such a hard time receiving like positive, you know, people appreciate like all of these things. It was sort of like a blockage. And so it's been such a transformative process. And even one day laying on the couch, I think it was like day 3 after surgery, maybe day 4, and I was laying there and I was like, I could feel dysregulation coming on, and I was like, okay, what is this? So anytime I experience dysregulation, I do my like my own process that I do on my clients, but I put my hands on my body and I'm like, I put my hands over my heart and my chest. My chest was like super hot, and I was like, what am I feeling right now? And it was like extreme rage, like and I had nothing, like it's not like I was in it, but it was like I was like, oh my god, this is happening. Like the underbelly that was under the implant is starting to like bubble to the top. So I was like, I had 2 or 3 days where I would experience like sadness, and I met the part of me who thought I was going to die, and I was just like, I like the sadness, I grieved for her. I was like, that was so scary. Like I did so much reparenting, laying on the couch, unable to move. I felt the anger and the sad. Like I physically could not move off of the space. I was immobilized on the couch, having to sit with some of the distress and the anger and the rage and the, you know, some of the things that were done to me in my relationship. Like all of these things started bubbling, and I was like, this is so fucking intense. Like this is so crazy. But I knew it's just like a really good lesson in trusting the process. And I'm seeing this a lot we see this in the club and, you know, some of the women I coach. It's like, whatever is happening right now in the field, we are being called to look at like the deepest layers of us, the deepest layers, because we are being initiated right now. We, you know, you and I and the women in the club, you know, we're change makers, we're rule breakers. We are ones who are here to like really expand the collective and to do things differently and to start unsubscribing from the traditional models and really stepping into like the unconventional methods, where we give ourselves permission to live those lives, and for the lives that we are like obsessed with, like the lives that work for us, no matter how it looks to the outside. And so part of that is having to like really go deep into the deepest layers. And so I think you and I were both gifted that during this time. And it doesn't shock me that this is happening in August, you know, a month before, where, you know, you and I are gearing up for a launch in September to open the doors of the club again and to change it and to elevate it and to, you know, like we were put that through that initiation as well, because, you know, I think you and I are so clear about who we want to be working with and who we want to support and who we want to elevate. And we have been very specific, like before the doors were open, you know, kind of like more to anyone in the club. And now you and I have been ultra specific. And you and I have had to calibrate our own energetic systems to be really in alignment with that. And so I just want to say, if you're listening, is like, just you're trusting the timing of things and trusting what is arising for you, and trusting that like what is coming up is, you know, looking to be cleared, so that like the universe and nature, we say this all the time, is net positive. It's always looking to bring you into balance and harmony. So if there's contrast or things you don't like in your life right now coming up, or things that are really hard, they're coming up to support you so that you can clear them out. And so your frequency elevates, you know, everything starts to shift in your life, because that's actually like the real work.
And I find it just so fascinating that it's happening in August, because I mean, numerology wise, like this year is ruled by the number 8. So this is karma, this is abundance, this is things coming to fruition. And August is the 8th month of the year. So we're getting like a double whammy this month already, just energetically. And then there's like 3 portals in August where 8 is the frequency. So we had the first one on August 8th, then the 17th, and then the 26th, I think. Yeah, 2 and 6 is 8.
Yeah.
And
And the year's
so
2024 too. So it's an 8 as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
like you have the 8 of the year, the 8 of the month, and then 3 pockets this month where we're hitting. And so we hit that first one while you were in your healing vortex. It's not surprising to me that I literally threw out my back the other day, and very similar to you, I'm like, I can't move very well and I can't really do what I would normally be doing to distract myself. And so I'm having to go to the bottom, sit with these things, and feel all the way through. And I think that's a really important thing for us to presence, because as leaders, sometimes, there can be this pedestalization that happens, and you think that the leaders or the coaches or the mentors are untouchable. They, can do no wrong. But like, we're just as human as anybody else, and we are going through it just like anybody else. And the difference is we actually go through it. Like, we might have these coping mechanisms that try to like come up, and we're like, oh, that's cute. Like, oh, look at that, look what I did over there. And then we're like, okay, now in we go. And so we're willing to take those initiations and be transformed through them and by them. And that's, I think, why we're so masterful with our clients one-on-one, but also with all of the women in the club, because we walk our talk and we are willing to be literally reborn. That's really weird that I'm just saying that, but like, it feels like there's this rebirthing that's happening. And like, I could resonate with so much of what you were saying, of like these old parts, and having to meet them and love them, and also alchemize them. Like, we can't hold the charge. And like, so much, it's so wild to me, like how parallel our experiences have been over these last 2 weeks, because I've been hitting those deep spots of sadness. I hit rage multiple times. And then the other day, like, I hit the bottom where I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to be alive anymore. So like, I'm hitting that death portal too, but like in a different way. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, you know what? It's time to go for a walk.
You hit the pit. You hit the pit. That's what I call. That's what I call the pit. I call it the pit. It's like when you can't go, you hit the pit, and you're like, oh my God, this is the fucking pit.
Yeah, like, and I call it the bottom. Like, when you hit the bottom, and I hadn't been taken right to the bottom in a while. Like, I hadn't hit that spot where I'm like, I don't want to be alive anymore. And what's interesting is, like, I could hear that part and I could feel it, but I was also observing it at the same time. And so I'm like, if I'm observing this, I'm not that thought or that feeling. Yeah. I'm the one observing it. And the observation of it is still disturbing. It's still upsetting. Like, it's still somatically spicy. Yes. And luckily my mom had reached out, like, I don't know, 2 minutes before that bottoming out happened. And she's like, are you okay?
No.
I was like, no, I'm not okay. And she was just so great. She was like, well, what do you need? Like, do you need to get on the phone? Like, do you need to get on FaceTime? Like, what do you need? I'm like, and it was very similar to like my past of, I had this story that she didn't care, and like, my needs don't matter and all this stuff, and feeling really isolated in that. And especially over this last year, the way that she's shown up for me and like been there, and like, I've also had trouble receiving, her generosity, because it's foreign, and like, there's parts of me, like these younger teenage parts, that don't fully trust it. And yet she's been so consistent. And it was like this moment where I let it in, and like, it clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, Like we can like let those parts rest now. Like they don't have to be so on guard anymore. And that we can receive from her, and we can receive this nourishment and this nurturing and this love and this support. And it's not coming with like a cost. It's not coming with strings attached. Like it's just clean love. And to like feel that and then hit the bottom, and then she was still holding the field for me and also really trusted my sovereignty. She was like, do what you need to do. And like, I think I actually need to go for a walk. Like I haven't left my house all day, and I think I just need to move, and I'll let you know if I need a phone call. And I got back a few hours later, and I'm like, I don't feel like I need a phone call at this point. But then the next morning I tagged in and just thanked her for holding that and like offering that, because it was in the offering of it that I felt so supported and loved. And it allowed me to reparent on my walk and like process all of these parts of like, yeah, no wonder we're meeting a death portal. Like parts of me are dying, like chapters are closing and new chapters are beginning. So of course, like every time I feel that spot of like, I don't want to be alive anymore, I know I'm about to just take off, because yeah, like there is a metaphorical death happening. And then if I can stay with it long enough, I will get through that transition and come through the other side. So I just find it so wild, and also not totally surprising that you and I have been traveling a similar road, just in a slightly different form. And, you know, I just want to put that out into the collective of anyone who's listening. Like, if you're going through those death and rebirth cycles, A, you're not alone. And B, when we do open the doors to the club, it would probably be a really great idea to get yourself in there so that you're not traveling alone. Like, we need each other. Like, if this experience has taught me anything, it's how much we truly need each other. Like, lone wolfing may seem like the best choice at certain parts of our story, but ultimately, in order to thrive, in order to literally create that rich, hot, thriving era, we need each other. We cannot do that alone. And that is the magic of the club. And we're going to be opening the doors in the fall. And you are able to get into those mini trainings before we open the doors. So we'll link it in the show notes so you can join the next one on the shadow dumping and the shadow clearing. And these are $11. Like, they're no-brainers. Like, it's a no-brainer to join one of these trainings, and it gives you a little taste of what we kind of teach and how we teach. And you'll also get first dibs on coming into the club, because we're only opening a very small amount of spaces each time we open the doors. So if you're in the trainings, you get access first before the wait list, before the general public. So you get the highest opportunity and chance and probability of getting into the club. And we love that for you.
Well, and they're so spicy and quick. And I think that's, you know, if you are new to the mini trainings, we just start launching these because we were like, we love long workshops, and Kelsey and I can go forever. As you know, we can like chitty chat. But like, we were like, it would be so fun to just pick one topic and really deliver like a sharp, potent, super simple and easy to understand training and teaching. So you understand the concept, but you're also given actionable, digestible, bite-sized micro things you can implement now. Because I know for me, like, I'll go and listen to a 2-hour webinar or workshop, and I'm like, you know, over the moon, super excited. And then I do nothing.
Yeah. Where do
right?
I
It's
begin?
like, because it can be overly overwhelming. And actually from a nervous system perspective, it can be, you know, it can put us into a state of overwhelm with so many things and too much information. And so I think this is something where we're like 45-minute trainings, they're digestible, quick, actionable things. You actually get the wins, and then you get to move forward. And just something I want to note, as you were saying, is you were talking earlier, Kelsey, about the club and just sort of the way that you and I work, whether it's one-to-one or in the club, is that, like, I just heard the words, what we are actually offering, if you boil it down, it's transformation in action. Like, I just heard transformation in action, because oftentimes when people go to sit down and think about changing or transforming or elevating their lives, it's like this like arduous mind fuck, hard, lots of books, lots of podcasts, lots of listening. It's very mental. It's like, I got to figure this out. What do I do next? How do I do it? It's a very masculine sort of process that can be very like, ugh. And I think the cool thing is that not only do you and I hold the energetic frequency of transformation and being catalysts, because that's who we are in our energy and what we practice in our lives. But like Kelsey said, when we didn't talk, like we together have this very special like clicking where, and that translates to all the women in the club as well, is that we're holding you, like your transformation isn't in theory, you're transforming in real time. So when you bring things, it's like they don't stay stagnant. You're not going to leave a container with us after a year and be the same person. That's actually
impossible.
I don't guarantee anything, but it's impossible. It's 100% impossible to not be in our fields and not transform, because it's just not, it's not possible. Like the work we offer is transformation in action. It's like you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Totally. You don't have to sit and marinate on it and, waste a year or 2, 3, 10 of your life and, just recount everything that happened to you. It's like, we know, we're ready to go. Like, let's fucking go. And so it is. I just heard transformation in action. I was like, right. Like it's like a living, breathing entity where when you step in, you are transforming, number one, through the calibration through us, because when you are in that situation, I think the coolest thing is you're sort of like daily reminded of who you are and what you're capable of. And I think that's the biggest thing, is why people have a hard time transforming, is because they fall asleep at the wheel. The subconscious mind is so powerful. It runs the show, so we can have a breakthrough. But then if we don't talk to the person, or we don't have the consistency or repetition, we go back to sleep at the wheel. We just fall asleep again. Our mind, it's very energy expensive to transform. So I think when you're reminded constantly, almost daily, and you have those like zingers and those like, whoo, you can't fall asleep. And so your transformation happens at such a rapid pace, because, and when shit comes up and you're like, I'm we've had women on the club come on, we're like, how are you today? I feel like shit. I don't even want to be here. I'm like cranky or whatever. And we're like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then we dive in, and then it's fucking gone. It's because it's like, it can't exist there, because we love it. There's no resistance to anybody. And the breakthroughs are fucking happening so quick. We're seeing women just like, pop in and having so many cool breakthroughs. And I'm really excited to open the doors again and to have it, to have such a special group come in. And I love that you and I decided to change the format of the way that we run the club. And, we'll continue to distill it. But I think having a small group of women join every time, it keeps things very intimate. It keeps things very potent, keeps it so there's lots of time for coaching for everybody, and, time with you and I, So anyways, I'm just, all that to say is this few weeks have been a vortex and wild. And that doesn't even include the car accident. I got rear-ended 2 days before my surgery, and my kids got staph infections a week before,
and the dog,
my dog died.
Yeah,
in the week.
There was a
lot.
Like
the week leading up to the surgery, it was like the universe being like, it was carnage. My dog died on the Monday. My kids got staph infections on like the couple days later.
Yeah, Wednesday.
I took them on a solo camping trip for fucking
and they were wild. They
were wild, and they had staph infections. It was like camping with staph infections. Mom, I'm like literally in the car on a 5-hour drive in an electric car trying to shoot like fucking like medicine in their mouths while they're like chomping on Smarties. I'm bribing them with everything I can. I'm like, I don't even know what to do right now. And then I get rear-ended 2 days before surgery. I was like, what? And then the day before surgery, my sister falls on the pool deck and skins her whole knee open. I was like, what is fucking happening right now? But it was just like, it felt like such the build. And I was like, I'm not taking this as an easy exit, because there was multiple times, the dog dying, the staph infections, because I was scared. I was like, if the kids have staph infections, then I get it. Like, that's not a vibe going into surgery, having a staph infection. No. So like, you know what I mean? So there was all of these pieces
you could have taken.
Outs I could have taken to not have the surgery. It was like thing after thing, and then I got rear-ended, and I was like, what is happening? I haven't had a car accident like ever. Like, what is happening? And I was like, I'm not taking, like, it felt like one of those kind of tests to say, like, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to cancel? Are you going to reschedule? Because I thought about it.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, there's just
But you did it.
yeah.
You went through
I
the
did
initiation.
it. I did it. I went through the initiation, a crazy healing with my parents, like just having them here. I'm so internally grateful. Like just all of it. I feel, it's given me, I sat and reflected on you and I sat and reflected on just like clients, the woman in the club, like just, yeah, like I think that was the biggest thing going into surgery. The biggest realization heading in was like, I remember having like a kind of like a prayer where I was like, I really don't want to die. Like it's making me realize even the thought of death, it's making me realize how good my life is and how that's a very different place from what it was. I didn't even want to wake up to my life, like not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like it was, I remember waking up literally not even a year ago, like thinking like, it's just too hard. Like there's just too many things. There's too many hits. Like if there's just, this feels like unbearable. And I remember just waking up feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. Like if you asked me how I was, I would either be frustrated or overwhelmed. Yeah, and it just goes to show again that like when you're ready, when you're willing to take the leap, to step into things when you're not ready, to just sort of go for it and to just start clearing out the stuff in your life that isn't in alignment for you, things start to show up and take its place. I mean, these are universal laws as well, but it's like, that's a whole nother day for a whole other topic, but it's like all of these pieces are like in action. And I think that sometimes when people are going through things, especially when I meet like new client or new potential woman for the club, and they say like, my life is a fucking gong show right now. It's like, then that's the perfect time to step into the club. Or perfect time, or they've had success, and like they're sort of in that idle, or they're feeling stuck, or they're like wanting to take it to the next level. I was like, Kelsey and I are like the fucking ball busters of that. Like we just can see the root. We go right to the root. Quantum leap. We go right to the root cause of and it doesn't matter where you are in your business or career or in your life or in your love life, or, you and I we talk about the foremost taboo topics on the planet: love, sex, money, power. You and I are helping women step into those things and to decode shame, because at the end of the day, like I see it, I'm like, when we are, if we're harboring, especially as women, topics like that, a lot of shame and guilt and whatever, that is something that will keep us in dysregulation, because, we don't want to look at it. So you and I are like neutralizing these topics, and not even neutralizing, but making them fun and exciting and empowering for women to step into their wealth, to step into their power, to step into their like sexy love life, to step into the relationships, or to reinvent relationships, or to, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, if it's purpose work, like, well fucked, well fed,
all the things.
So, anyways, that feels good. I'm excited to step in this fall and to just blast off with everyone who's feeling called.
Like it's such a vibe.
We're on a
it's such a vibe. It's such a vibe. So we will put the link in the show notes you can join the wait list for the doors for the club. So if you're like, damn, I really want to be in the club, cool, get on the wait list. Put yourself on there. If you are like, I want to be in the club and I want to do the mini trainings, cool, go sign up for that. That's also in the show notes. And that's all we got for you. That's it. So
that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
And if you know anyone who needs to listen to this episode, you found value, share it. It literally takes 0.25 seconds, and it makes it's the world to Kelsey and I. Like when we hear people, they give us feedback, they share it, they tell us that, like we would love to shout you out. We love to connect with you. It's just, it makes us so happy. I think sometimes you don't really realize if your work is impacting people, and then, you and I have looked at our stats and on our platform, and we're like, there's people in like Africa listening, and there's people in like Europe, Russia, and all over these places. It's so cool. It really feeds us, and it feeds us, this is something obviously we're doing right now and we love doing, and we just, it really it means a lot to us. When these little micro things happen, and we see it as huge wins. So you could shout us out, if you can give us a rating, a review, if you can share us with somebody that who needs a juicy, spicy, raw, real podcast in their life, if there's trainings or the club, or you just feel like somebody needs to hear this, just even knowing that good juju of you like sharing is also very like abundant as well, and that puts you in a state of prosperity consciousness and all of that. So we love you. Thank you.
Love you so much. And we'll be back. Oh, so happy to be back, and we'll see you next week. We love you guys. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.